Fiddler Club is a private city club in the heart of Center City, designed as a third space for the modern city dweller, equal parts professional, social, and cultural hub. Located across from 30th Street Station, there's a boutique hotel with 14 thoughtfully designed rooms, perfect for members, friends, and family. And membership gets you access to dining, events, and a full fitness suite with an indoor pool, climbing wall, and spa services. Fiddler Club's work and innovation hub, ideal for entrepreneurs, remote workers, and teams of colleagues. And when you're thinking about work, there's everything from shared desks to private offices and boardrooms. Learn more about Fiddler Club becoming your third space, where work, community, and leisure intersect. Get more details at fiddlerclub.com/citycast membership. It's the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about the city agreeing to pay $3 million to the family of a 12-year-old boy who was killed by a Philly cop. And artists cancel shows at World Cafe Live. Bars pull out of SIPS. Plus, this heat is unbearable. We've got places where you can cool down. It's Friday, June 27th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week at the Fiddler Club, sipping iced coffee because it's hot, is producer Abby Fritz. Hey, Abby.
Good morning, Trenae.
And hey, Philly newsletter editor Siani Colon. Hey, Siani.
Hey, Trenae.
How are you both staying cool this week?
That's a big question. It literally hit 100 degrees this week, which it has not since 2012. So it is been so long since that's happened. I don't know. I keep it simple. I have AC. I stay inside. Mm-hmm. I also, if I want to go out, I've been going to the library a lot. I've been reading a lot, but I've been picking up a lot of books. But I will say the AC kicks at the South Philly Library. So if you need someone to hang out, that's cool. That's pretty good. And I think the city has a bunch of cooling centers around the city as well. I know libraries tend to be designated cooling centers. So you can check out the city's website for any of those. But also, I've been swimming, and I'm working on an episode about the best swimming spots in Philly. I'm thinking swimming holes, pools, rivers, lakes, anything in that realm. If you have recs, send me a text or a voice memo at 215-259-8170 or shoot us an email at philly@citycast.fm. We want to know. Please. Please.
I love that. Siani, how you been staying cool?
Oh man, I've finally installed the AC this past weekend, so I've been alternating between that and the fan, so I don't, blow out the energy in the house just using the AC in high gear. And then also Abby, taking time in the libraries, Parkway Central is a good spot to just, sit in remote work and just take advantage of that free AC as much as possible. And listen, I'm normally the person who takes scalding hot showers no matter what season or temperature it is.
Right.
But I've been forcing myself to take ice cold showers. So I'm okay, I have to cool down.
I hear you, but I still opt for a hot shower.
Yeah,
I can't. My body
do
will just I can't handle that. But now I've been in the house for 5 days this past week because it's just been so hot, and I've had cabin fever. You know what I mean? And the heat makes me mad. I'm irritable. Siani, you sent us a really interesting article about spots in Philly that make people feel happy.
Yeah, so if you need a little bit of a pick-me-up, psychology students from Drexel University's Happiness Lab mapped out local landmarks and hidden destinations where they feel the happiest. So they gathered about over 200 responses from students and narrowed down to 28 based on how many times the spot was recommended and how accessible it is for people to get to. So this included spots like Penn's Landing and the Philadelphia Zoo, your typical go-to landmarks, to maybe lesser known spots like the Botanical Garden, James K. Kasky Memorial Park. So what do you guys think about the spots that are chosen?
There's a place called the Cat Park.
The Cat Park.
Yeah, it's on North Natrona Street in Mantua.
Oh.
It says it's a quiet little park and it's cat friendly. Lots of friendly cats.
Oh.
Like people bring their cats, or like there's just cats?
Happy strays.
Maybe it's just the strays.
Is it cats on leashes? I need to know. They need to disclose that.
Well,
It's literally the cat part.
Well, Philly has like 400,000 like stray cats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just reading an article about that. It's crazy.
All right, let's get into some of the big stories of this week. I want to start with the city making this settlement, $3 million settlement to the family of Thomas T.J. Siderio. He was the 12-year-old boy who was fatally shot in the back by Philly police officer Edsel Mendoza back in 2022. So according to the Inquirer, Siderio and his 17-year-old friend, they were riding their bikes down in South Philly when they were stopped by officers because based on some social media posts, the officers believed that Siderio's friend had a stolen gun. Siderio fired a shot at the unmarked police car and the boys ran. Siderio tossed the gun before being shot. Mendoza, he was wearing a tactical vest over his plain clothes. He chased Siderio, fired at him 3 times. Siderio fell to the ground face down after the second shot. He was unarmed when the third shot went into his back. Mendoza was later fired, charged, and sentenced last year to 8 to 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to third-degree murder. Now, the settlement comes after Siderio's family had filed a lawsuit in January of 2024, and they were seeking compensation for emotional and financial suffering. What is also notable about this case is that Siderio, being 12 years old, had been the youngest person killed by a Philly cop. I know you guys have been hearing and seeing all the news about World Cafe Live. So over in University City on Walnut Street, there's been a lot of controversy about what is happening at World Cafe Live. This is a nonprofit music venue that's been running for more than 2 decades in the city. People go here for indie, underground music, R&B. It's a local music scene, comedy shows. And the organization also has a program where they introduce kids to music education. Have any of you ever been to a show at World Cafe Live?
I haven't, but I heard a lot of good things about it. It seemed like it's a really respected institution in Philly. So lately, it's just been the complete opposite. I've seen people absolutely pissed on social media, leaving angry comments on their Instagram pages when the comments are actually available. Reddit has been lighting up with feedback. So it's really unfortunate on how it's just down spiraled just so quickly.
You ever been?
I haven't ever been to World Cafe Live, but they always have great artists there, and I'm always tempted. And it's really sad to see how everybody is like, oh, they've messed up. Everybody knows, even if you haven't been like me, you know that like something's going on over at World Cafe right now.
The last time I was at World Cafe Live was for the it was like a concert for this organization called Beyond the Bars, and World Cafe Live has great wings and great drinks. It's really beautiful inside. They have an upstairs, a downstairs. I love the space. But let me catch you guys up. There's a new CEO, Joseph Callahan. He was elected by the World Cafe Live board this spring. He's from Northeast Philly. He's had a career in tech, and he's credited for bringing the Portal to Philly. You guys know the Portal.
Yeah.
But since he's been the head of World Cafe Live, there's drama. Some staff members have resigned from their post. Some are calling out Callahan's leadership as hostile and the treatment of the venue's part-time workers as unfair. Some of the hourly wage workers say they were fired for trying to strike, walking off the job, because they say they had not been paid on time. I read in 6ABC, Callahan denied those accusations. But as a result of all of this kind of like back and forth, some artists have canceled their upcoming shows, some have rescheduled, or some plan to find an entirely new venue to perform. Callahan told the Inquirer this: "The World Cafe Live is here to stay. it's not closing, and that they're still focusing on live music. Callahan is doing the booking now because the staff member who was supposed to do that also stepped down this month.
God.
So, and on top of all of this, World Cafe Live is reeling over what to do about its $6 million debt.
What?
So there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
And some of the reports that I saw, it was because there's been like a history of mismanagement of funds, according to some folks, familiar with working at this venue. So I don't know. It's kind of sad to see, but also you got to pay people.
Yeah. Bare minimum, actually, to pay your employees.
I also saw that there had been some drama when it comes to tickets and refunds, because people who are obviously upset about the situation, they are refusing to go to shows. People want their money back. And before, refunds would be honored. But recently there had been a change that ticket purchases would be non-refundable and that ticket holders would receive a credit toward the future show. But if you're trying to boycott, you're obviously not trying to go to a show anytime soon. So then some artists had called out the change online, and then the World Cafe Live had backtracked and posted 2 different options if you want to get a refund. So you could either get a full refund, or option 2, which is a $10 voucher per ticket plus ticket value credit plus 1 year super fan club membership, whatever that means. And you can't ask on their Instagram where he posted this because the comments are turned off.
That's when you know they're down bad, is when the comments get turned off.
And it comes at a time where the arts is really struggling to stay afloat.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. We've got more news after the break. Looking for some Philly fun out in the water? The Philadelphia Canoe Club is hosting their annual open house on Sunday, June 29th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be live music, free canoeing and kayaking at the Wissahickon Creek, and a sale on used gear. All equipment is provided. There's also going to be food and drinks. So come celebrate the club's 120th anniversary at the historic old mill house with a day of fun and community. Come to 4900 Ridge Avenue by the Wissahickon Transportation Center. Enjoy nature and connect with an active paddling club. For more information, check out philacanoe.org. We all know Philadelphia is a revolutionary city, full of American firsts. But did you know that Philly is home to America's first penitentiary? It started as a bold 19th century experiment to reimagine the criminal justice system in America. And it continues today with Eastern State. Eastern State is a nonprofit dedicated to deepening our collective understanding of the criminal justice system. On the grounds of Eastern State Penitentiary Historic Site, open to the public every day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., tours, exhibits, and programs illuminate the powerful history and legacy of this iconic Philadelphia landmark. And the Eastern State Center for Justice Education, a nationally recognized voice in criminal justice education, serves as a catalyst for workforce development and a connection point that provides online and in-person opportunities for engagement, dialogue, and impact. Visit easternstate.org to learn more, plan your visit, and get involved. Discover, discuss, share at Eastern State. I've been thinking about just how hot it's been this week, and I'm staying inside, but people have been traveling in and out of the city by bus. Guys, it's been 2 years, and there still isn't a proper Greyhound bus station. Just imagine waiting outside for your bus, and then add the fact that there's no shelter.
Yeah, there's no shelter, there's not permanent bathrooms, there's not adequate trash cans. A couple months ago, we talked with some business owners around the temporary bus station on Spring Garden Street out in No Libs, and they were talking about how bad it is out there. So I can't imagine that the heat is making it any better. And it doesn't sound like there's definitive options of what's going to happen in the future for this bus station.
Listen, y'all, I am not waiting on that corner on Spring Garden for the Greyhound bus. It is not happening. I used to take Greyhound pretty regularly when I would go up to New York, but no, I've opted to just start taking Amtrak. It's, definitely a little bit more up there than a Greyhound is, but it's so worth it at this point. And last Friday, I actually took a trip to New York. And while I was waiting at 30th Street Station, I suddenly heard this loud commotion. I was like, okay, what's going on? Do I gotta leave? Turns out it was droves of soccer fans who were coming in for the Flamengo versus Chelsea match that was happening at the Link that day. Since the FIFA Club World Cup is happening in Philly until around July 13th. And listen, Philly fans are hype, but these fans are hype.
I saw videos of just folks lighting like smoke in the Link.
Yeah, it's been a little bit wild. I can't, speak to what goes on when it comes to soccer, but what I've seen and with the culture, it really brings people together. You have people coming from all over the country and the world, repping their teams and befriending someone who has the same jersey and supporting a local fan club. So it's really sweet. But on the flip side, there have been instances where it's gotten out of hand. At one game on Sunday, you had one teen get arrested for assaulting a police officer, and 7 people were ejected for lighting those smoke bombs at the Link because that they had already posted this was not allowed. FIFA also made a statement on it, but people are gonna do what they want.
Do you think people have seen how we celebrated the Super Bowl and was like, oh, we can get turked in Philly?
They're like, oh, bet.
But what they didn't realize is we wait to get to Broad Street. We're not doing it inside the Link.
Right. And maybe not during a heat wave when that's the last thing you want on your face.
Exactly.
But it's nice to see how people showed up because there was concern about lower attendance due to reports that ICE might be present outside of games. But you still have people traveling in. But all that to say, it logistically, there's still some issues to be worked out. Some of the games overlapped with the days the Phillies were playing here, and the Link strongly encouraged people to take other modes of transportation because the lots were going to be packed. But the Philadelphia Inquirer recently reported how difficult it is to get an Uber from stadiums these days, with fans waiting forever and rides getting canceled or never getting assigned in the first place. And listen, I know the Broad Street line is right there. For those who say to take SEPTA, like one couple mentioned waiting 45 minutes for a bus that never came. And if SEPTA is forced to cut lines, regarding this budget and set a 9 p.m. curfew, that can leave fans stranded. Like some of these matches were scheduled from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., which first of all, I'm not leaving my house to go to a game at 9 p.m. But all that to say, if you're going, what are you supposed to do if the subway closes at 9?
Right. Yeah. And you don't have a car and you're from out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, with 2026, quickly approaching with all the festivities, like, again, you have the World Cup, you have the MLB All-Star Game, the Semi-quincentennial.
Everybody say it. Semi-quincentennial.
Don't ask me to spell it.
Right.
Philly has a lot to prepare for when it comes to immigration and traveling restrictions that impact fans and teams participating in these games, how public transportation can handle all these people coming in, and responding to the fan culture when they want to, party too hard.
Such great points, Siani. All right, we'll be back after this break. Hey, CityCast Philly listeners. If you're thinking about getting a new car, now is the time, and Jeff D'Ambrosio is the place. With all the talk about tariffs and rising prices, Jeff is going all out this June with employee pricing, Jeff's exclusive discounts, and zero tariff impact on any vehicle in stock. You can save up to $15,000 on a brand new Jeep, Ram, or Dodge, and drive with monthly payments as low as $199. He's the #1 Jeep and Ram dealer in the Mid-Atlantic, with the biggest inventory and a customer service experience that's second to none. You'll be welcomed by a friendly team, and even Jeff himself stops by to offer honest advice. Whether it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee, Ram 1500, Dodge Charger EV, or a luxury Alfa Romeo, Jeff D has it all. Check it out at gojeffauto.com. Then head to Jeff D'Ambrosio Auto Group, the #1 destination in Downingtown. Nobody treats you better, nobody saves you more.
My day kicks off with a refreshing Celsius energy drink, then straight to the gym. Pre-K pickup, back home to meal prep. Time for my fire station shift. One more Celsius, gotta keep the lights on. When the 3-alarm hits, I'm ready. Celsius. Live, fit, go. Grab a cold, refreshing Celsius at your local retailer or locate now at Celsius.com.
All right, one of the signs of summer in Philly happens on Wednesday nights. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's Center City SIPS, when Philadelphians flock to bars for the weekly happy hour. But some bars are pulling out of SIPS.
Yep. There's been some controversy this year. So this weekly happy hour is organized by Center City District, and it was originally started to kind of be like a low-key happy hour night.
Because everybody went down to the shore during the summer. And so they needed to get some business, get some people up in the doors.
Yes. And I think generally speaking, I don't think, drinking Wednesdays, that doesn't usually match up. So I think they were trying to be like, hey, everybody's going to be out of town on the weekends because you're going to the show, you're going wherever.
Right.
But if you're here after work on Wednesdays, come get some deals. So they were trying to give businesses a boost during this time of year and create a community place for people to hang out. Yeah, it's gotten a little more lit this year. People are coming out, and some of the businesses are not exactly seeing the benefit of this anymore. Have you guys been to SIPS recently? Have you been before?
Yes, I've been to SIPS, and I have a couple of opinions on SIPS. Okay,
Let's hear 'em.
Because when SIPS first came out, too, remember there was this insane brawl at one of the earlier SIPS, and people, describe the culture as being bro-y. But then also some of the restaurants downtown in Center City, it didn't seem like they all had happy hour deals. So if you went to a spot where you thought, the vibe, people are rocking out, well, what deal did I really get? Am I getting a deal? So I've been so about SIPS. Although I think, I am getting older and I might need to go to the bars or something that are more low key. But yeah, I've been following this story and saw some of the TikToks around SIPS and it's getting wild.
It's getting wild. Yeah. Siani, have you been to SIPS before or no?
I haven't. I've just seen the videos of all the crowds, and I remember all the fighting that would happen, and it just gives the vibe of I just turned 21 and I'm just gonna go buck wild. People who just have don't really know how to drink and just kind of act
or don't know the culture or etiquette of being downtown and being an adult and being a responsible Philadelphian.
Yeah, totally. And I think that is what some of these restaurant owners and bar owners are seeing. There was 95 restaurants that were participating, and now it's 92. So 3 restaurants have dropped out. I read an article this week from the Inquirer that kind of mentioned some of those TikToks that you guys are talking about that shows these crowds. They also mentioned ones that kind of highlighted certain spots that have seemed to kind of be the epicenter of where all of the big, I'm talking street party style. Everybody's in the street. There's someone hooking up blenders to their cars to make margaritas, and no one can get through the roads. Your cars can't drive. It's crazy style, out in Center City on a Wednesday. It's so weird. And so kind of at the epicenter of that is like around Sansom, 13th, that area is kind of where it's been getting really bad. And so Time on Sansom, Vintage on 13th, which are both owned by the same person, and then DBG, which is also on Sansom, have since dropped out. The owners cite basically just like the huge crowds being more disruptive than helpful to their sales. They're like, you know, if they were all coming in and buying a drink, we wouldn't be mad, but they're not.
So everyone's basically just on the street, on the sidewalks, kind of like a big block party.
Yeah.
Big block party vibes. It's hot. It's the summer. Everybody's doing all of that, but they're not actually frequenting these spots. And it's making it hard for people who actually had reservations at these places, or like the band at Time couldn't even get into Time. So they like couldn't play one night on a SIPS City night because of all the barricades that had to be put up by police because like they're trying to mitigate these crowds. And so, you know, they threw up their hands. They said, we're out, we're done. And the owner of Time and Vintage has been doing this since the like 2000s. So, I mean, you know, from the beginning of when SIPS launched. So it's a big deal for these business owners to kind of be pulling out of this. And, you know, the police are saying, they're publicly saying, we're going to ticket people for drinking publicly. They're putting up blockades around the area to kind of make it easier if they need to, you know, see what's going on. But yeah, the restaurant owners aren't convinced that it's necessarily helping with the increased police presence. So yeah, that's what's going on with SIPS, you guys.
Okay. So are there other places in the city where we can do like a SIPS and it's like less maybe chaotic?
Yeah. I'm going to say definitely these kind of neighborhood happy hours pull a lot of people to them, I think, in some of the other iterations across the city. But some that I think are maybe a little bit more chill. If you've been to Fishtown Taps, they have those happening on Tuesdays. Also, Passyunk Passagiata down on East Passyunk Ave. They have one on Thursdays as well. And they kind of do more than just drinks and food. There's also like all of the storefronts like have tables outside and they'll give you like little trinkets or tickets to enter a raffle. And then there's also Parks on Tap, which isn't a neighborhood happy hour. It's actually kind of rotates all around the city to different parks. And it's a traveling beer garden. So right now they're at historic Rittenhouse Town in West Mount Airy, but you can check on the website to see where they're going next. I think they're there through the 29th as of right now.
All right, this is a great transition into weekend plans.
Yes.
What's everybody doing?
Oh, guys, it's been so hot. I've been tubing, kayaking, swimming, eating. So I need to relax. My wallet needs to relax. I need to relax.
You've been outside.
I've been outside. I have a tan. I'm good. But I am going to be making an appearance somewhere this weekend. A few weeks back on the show, we did an episode about my rugby team, Philadelphia. Yeah. Philadelphia
Very
Rugby
cool.
Football Club. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. But after doing all my laundry and stuff this weekend, I'm gonna go to two locals over in University City.
I love two locals.
Okay, you should come to this then.
Oh.
At 3 p.m. on Sunday, we're putting on a watch party with my team, Watch Party Philly, and the Philly Griffins, which is another rugby team in the city. And we're gonna be watching the finals of the Women's Elite Rugby League called the Legacy Cup. And this is like professional women's rugby in the United States. This is their first year doing this. So like everybody who's into rugby is really excited about WER. I went to one of their games a few weeks ago over in New York. And when I tell you, this is crazy high level rugby. They are so good. I've seen games in Europe. I watch rugby on TV regularly. And it is so exciting to see like high level rugby, especially women's rugby, coming to the United States. So I'm very excited about this. This weekend at 3, it's going to be the New York City Exiles versus the Denver Onyx in the final. It's a $5 cover. And if you come, you better be rooting for the New York Exiles because PRFC's own Kristen Aliberto, who goes by K-Train, is on the Exiles. She made it to the professional league. We love her. Go K-Train. We're all going to be rooting for you. And also, did I mention that Two Locals is giving 10% off the tab of anybody who comes to watch for the rugby game? So come out and say hi.
Deal.
Yeah.
Wow. now?
Oh, you're making me want to rearrange my plans a little bit.
Yes,
It's
come hang
always
out.
so much to do. Well, you know what, Abby? I'm so glad that you brought this up because in Philadelphia Gay News, there's a story about Philly's first women's sports bar is going to be opening this summer. Siani, you shared this article with us on the team. It looks like this bar is going to open in like August. So it's just so great. You know, like you mentioned earlier, FIFA World Cup is coming next year. Abby's rugby team. I also coach field hockey. So it is like the time for women's sports in the city. Siani, what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty busy. So this weekend is the Hispanic Fiesta, which previously took place at Penn's Landing, but with all the construction, they obviously can't do it there. And I've regularly attended over the years as either a visitor or a volunteer. And it's just been really great to, eat good food, see live music, and support all the vendors across Latin America. So this Saturday, it'll be at Love Park from 2 to 9, and it's free admission. And I really want to see the headliner, Ivy Queen, who's considered the queen of reggaeton. So it was really big to have her come to Philly and perform. Then Sunday, there's the From Our Hands Pan-Asian Food Festival at Fleischer Art Memorial. So that's from 2 to 6 and is organized by the Asian Food Collective and Roots to Table. I interviewed the organizers earlier this month, and you can learn more about the event and the organizations behind it by checking out the food and drink section on our website.
Nice. So fun. Cherry Street Pier, Spruce Street Harbor Park, and Independence Blue Cross River Rink Summerfest, they're having this early Independence Weekend celebrations. So starting tonight and running through Sunday, there's going to be live music, roller skating. I love roller skating.
Yes.
Liberty Flea, which is like a vintage flea market, and fireworks over the river on Saturday night at around 9:30. So there's going to be so many events happening. So check out more of the details over at DelawareRiverWaterfront.com.
So every city, when it comes to roller skating, kind of has a signature move. Apparently, Philly's the backwards fast skate. Can you do that?
I can. I'll show you some videos too.
Yes, I need to see.
And if you're looking to get out of Philly this weekend, check out our guide for a road trip to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's brought to you by #1 Jeff D'Ambrosio Destination Downtown, your Philadelphia Superstar dealership. You can find the guide at philly.citycast.fm. All right, there's lots to talk about, and we'll continue our conversations next week on CityCast Philly. Thanks so much for joining me for this Friday News Roundup, guys.
Have fun this weekend.
Yeah, stay cool, guys.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our producers are Abby Fritz, Selena C.A. Reynolds, and Lizzie Goldsmith. Our Hey Philly newsletter editor is Siani Colon. And our host is me, Trenae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from All the Kimonos. If you enjoyed this week of episodes, please share it with the group chat, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Philly. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye.